Here we go then. Round 2.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hejaz Mountains to visit one of the newest
Round
circuits.
2. Here we go. Starting P3 at Jeddah.
All hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Great track to drive, especially during quali. Race is a bit trickier. You make a mistake,
the Jeddah Street circuit,
you're pretty much done. You're guaranteed to go on a wall. So
corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just
it's
how
normally
much the
tough
teams
to get round
have
here
benefited from their time spent in practice this
in
weekend.
one piece.
And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers
27
that get it
corners,
wrong.
a lot of
Let's hope we
straights,
avoid any safety cars today.
and a lot of straight line speed required here, which not great news for us. The Red Bull and Ferrari are probably going to take us here.
Fantastic qualifying session. It's time to see how
on the
our
straights,
starting
but
grid looks like for today's
we'll
race.
see what happens.
Carlos
Sainz and Max
in pole
Verstappen
position, and
on the
Max
front
Verstappen
row,
lines up
and then
alongside.
ourselves in
Moving on
P3
to the
with
rest of the grid, we
Perez.
have
P4, we're on a Red Bull
Carlos,
sandwich,
Perez,
and Leclerc, despite
Charles
being
Leclerc,
really
and
quick in quali,
Bottas,
messed up in Q3. He'll start
Ocon,
P5.
Magnussen,
Teammate Lewis Hamilton down in
and
P9.
Lando Norris.
He gets promoted
Fernando
because Alonso has
They've taken a grid penalty.
that grid
Vettel,
penalty. I believe he's went
Daniel
from
Ricciardo,
P10 to
and
P9,
Joe.
Lewis Hamilton.
Stroll, Sonoda,
Pierre Gasly,
and Alex Albon.
P17 after
Latifi
winning in
and
Bahrain.
Mick
Schumacher back of the
That's
grid.
it then. It's time. Anthony Davidson joins.
So, one stop, mediums to hards it will be. Unless we have another dramatic safety car, as we're gonna drop our fuel load a bit. Give us just enough, but there's a safety car, we probably could take more of a risk.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
As we are underway with the formation lap, going through the gears, getting the temps up. And yeah, so target, I'd say, although we're starting P3, we got to be realistic and say potentially we may drop down to P5. Obviously, possibly further if we end up making mistakes and stuff, but I'd say P5, we'd be pretty content with that, just purely because the pace of these Ferraris, Red Bull, especially on the straights. It's going to be important that we kind of manage our battery pretty well, although we will be very tempted to drain it to keep up with these guys on the straights. And also, once DRS is activated, that we stay in touch with we stay in touch with whoever's in front of us. Because if we don't, we're just gonna have no chance against these guys. They're already super quick in the straight line. Last thing they need is DRS when we don't have DRS, so we will see what happens here as we're approaching the final corner, and we'll get ready to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. About to take out position on grid. We're going to maybe try and angle this a bit, be a bit cheeky and create an angle so we can maybe have a go between Max and Sainz here. Might be a bit risky right enough. We don't want to get completely sandwiched, but we've got options here if we get that good launch. But here we go for round 2. And it's 5 red lights. Away we go. It's a decent getaway. As we'll look to take the outside line, get back in, and it looks like we've got Max. We have got Max, we're up to P2. This section is just so tricky, especially right at the start of the race with heavier cars with all that fuel on board. Sainz getting a bit squirmy there. We did not get that corner around right either, so... And Max getting really aggressive on us. As Leclerc already 2 seconds off the pace. And as I say, we're just struggling in these straight lines. Try and squeeze Max out to the wall. Give him just enough room though. Sainz already out of DRS. Still got another lap before it will be activated. But we are having to drain this battery to kind of keep in touch with Sainz. Lap 1 complete. Gained 1 position so far. Nothing else has changed in the top 5. It has now because Leclerc has went through on Perez. I think there might be contact as well. If I could hear something. They're really fighting and they're losing so much time, which is good for us. Because we know what threat they are. And they're already 3 seconds off the pace as we get a track limits. I felt that coming there. Very frustrating to get it so early on. So we really got to watch, especially on that corner. There's only a couple corners where that could potentially happen. So just got to watch yourself. Last thing we want is like a 3-second penalty. As we are sticking within that 1 second of Carlos Sainz, with the aid of some ERS, of course, which we have used to get a good bit of, but we can stay. And that DRS will be alright, but it's a terrible corner from us. Need to really ease off before we put in the wall. Max behind us with the fastest lap. He's going to have DRS on us. We're going to have it on Sainz. Hopefully. As long as he doesn't pull away. As we keep it a lot cleaner through that section there. On the power. Leclerc is now pulled away from Sergio Perez. We're going to get DRS here, just drag us along. And drag Max along as well. Max looking like he's going to have a go at us. We're having to drain our entire battery here. Max posted the fastest lap. He's going to have a go at us, I think.
Just put up the fastest lap of the race so far.
And what this will do is it'll just allow Sainz to pull away if we continue the fight with Max. Because he's really fucking pushing us here. Not sure how much longer we're about to put up with this, especially if we can't keep in with it within that DRS Sainz. Oh, and we almost kissed the wall there. Probably the corner that I struggle with most. There is a few on this track. It can be pretty tricky. And I feel I think Max might have us here. We are going to touch because he just turns into me. And now we are out of DRS zone of signs. And Max goes through.
Gap to your teammate behind is 9.3 seconds.
Sainz off into the distance now. As Leclerc putting in fastest laps. He's right on our tail. And by lap 5, it's already looking like the podium may be gone from us. Tell you something, this track really, oh my god, we got so close to the wall there. This track really takes it out of you in terms of your arms, or the force feedback. It really does compared to other tracks. Lots of high speed corners here at Jeddah. So now we've got DRS, Max hasn't. Leclerc's getting pulled along as well, so Max is now gonna find himself under pressure from myself and Leclerc. So we really haven't managed to charge his battery up, but we're just gonna use it to try and make a move on Max into turn 1.
Nice move, good job.
As we brake really late, and now we're gonna be very vulnerable on the exit, as we've almost lost it, and we've kind of held up Max and Leclerc now. And that's just giving Sainz even more breathing space. But we are back up into P2. Luckily, we almost lost it there as well. As now we are in the position where we want to have DRS, so we maybe should have just stuck behind Max there, but kind of tough to do when we've got Leclerc right behind us as well. So we haven't got any battery left really here, so we're going to be very, very vulnerable on these straights, even without the DRS assistance for the guys behind. As Leclerc, Perez still further back, he's not managing to kind of catch us or post fastest laps despite being in a bit cleaner air. And here we go then. We're going to drain what we have left of the DRS. Just try and stay in front. As now roles are reversed and Max is on the inside. We're on the outside. We're going to leave him more room than he left me. And we stay in front. And we lock up, but we're all good. As Latifi's out of the session, Leclerc has passed. Leclerc up to P3, who's been the fastest man all weekend. He's passed Max Verstappen. We go wide. I actually thought he was going to kind of dive bomb us there. His Sainz now racing off into the distance. We're kind of doing Sainz a massive favour here, as we are holding Leclerc and Max up. Sainz now 3 seconds ahead of us. But anything can happen. We got pit stops to come up. We have got that stint on the hard tyre, which is really tough, I find, on this game compared to others. And just trying to stick with the AI on the hard tyres just feels really hard, especially that outlap when tyres are cold. We didn't experience that as much in Bahrain because obviously we did manage to put the hards on during the safety car as well. We're going to be vulnerable here. Leclerc, he's looking.
Let's get back up to racing speed. Come on.
To make it a Ferrari, and once again, the AI have just went into us, and we are going to use a flashback here because I feel like that nothing I could do. We are going to go back, and well, I've left it a bit late here, so we might have screwed a race. We might have screwed a race up here. Yeah, I think we've screwed a race up here. Because Leclerc AI just turns in without any, yeah, I don't think we can save this at all. I don't think we're going to be able to save this at all.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh dear. As I think, has Max got damage as well? I'm not too sure, but our race completely ruined by how dumb the AI are sometimes. And we have got wing damage.
You've got damage to the rear wing.
Hamilton up to P5. We kind of would love a safety car now. I can't believe it. We did leave that flashback a little too late, but, and yeah, we're going to get track limits as well, so we don't actually get track limits. But yeah, our race just...
damage to the rear diffuser. Performance will be noticeably worse beyond this point, I'm afraid.
Completely ruined by the AI just not giving us room. Like, it happened twice now. I say I'm trying, you know, I'm learning this game, so I'm trying not to use flashbacks. I mean, we're completely fine there. Until the AI decided just to completely ruin a race.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds.
Just absolutely no grip now.
Confirmed.
We're going to have to box. How early are we? Okay, we're alright. We probably should have went in that lap there, but I was kind of praying there might have been a safety car or something. Boxing for hearts, a new wing, which is going to take so much time.
Perfect job from you.
And now we're on the out lap, which we've got to heat up these awful hard tyres. So we're going to be right at the back now, as Max is clear of us.
Look after these tyres now.
We turn off the pit limiter. Just going to be careful on this exit because, as I say, these tyres are like driving on ice as we get hit again on the pit exit by Mick Schumacher. And we're going to get the warning for it, of course. We probably got the warning for the other one as well. And it's just no grip on these tyres. Really struggle on the out lap. Oh, there's just nothing there. And that's probably why Max isn't more in front. He spent this lap warming up, last lap warming up his tyres. Now he's going to pull away. He's going to try and get some temp into these tyres. And we've got damage on the rear wing now as well as a result of that. Mick Schumacher, we're in the wars today. And this was probably our best chance of a victory, I'd say, out of all the tracks so far that I've played on this game. We were running in what, P2, P3 before that incident. And now we're going to have to try and nurse these hard tyres as well to the end, so... Gutting. Twice it's happened. I mean, when I was on the outside, I gave plenty of room, and they've just both squeezed me into the wall. I just don't know what I'm meant to do there. I really don't know what I'm meant to do, apart from completely back off and just let them through, which is just... What's the point? So, we've got some clean air now. Just been braking. Hit the brakes way too late there. So now we settle in for what is a recovery race, and we just gotta potentially just make our way through these hards, which, as I say, I'm not great on compared to the AI. Hopefully make our way through the field, and then possible late safety car onto the softs and then just give ourselves a chance at getting further up the field. But I think there is a lot of cars bunched up here. As you can see in the mini-map, Max Verstappen only 3 seconds in front now. He's been held up. A lot of cars here, and I'm assuming a lot of them still have to pit. So we are going to make up plenty of positions. Hopefully maybe 1 or 2 stay out and keep Max kind of held up for a good bit. Yep, damage to the rear wing. We got damage everywhere in this race. Really in the wars. No fault of our own. I don't feel anyway. I feel like the Max, when he squeezed me too much, really in the left Max, plenty of space, nothing happened, and then Leclerc just completely turns in on me, into the wall. As I say, we tried to use a replay, but I left it way too late to kind of recover. If I hit the replay maybe 2-3 seconds before, we would have been able to just let Leclerc through, lose the place, and because the AI do the same every time. If they're going to turn on me there, they're going to turn on me when I replay it again, so yeah. Very, very frustrating. As you see, we're catching this pack now. All these guys still haven't pitted up, which means they're going to have much fresher tyres come the end of the race, and I just hope ours actually lasts. We'll kind of see what Max Verstappen gets up to on these hard tyres, as he pitted a lap before us as well, and I think he might have had damage as well. I'm going to assume if he pitted that early. And I feel like Ricardo's tyres are completely gone, or he might have damage.
Okay, we've got plenty of energy. Use the overtake button and have a go. Come on, you can do this.
We've got DRS here, and we're going to try and double pass here on the next section. And he's been held up. That's absolutely perfect for us, hopefully. It's not, because we've had to back off before another collision, and we've ran it wide.
The rear diffuser's got some damage. You're definitely going to feel the effects from here on out, I'm afraid.
And Ricardo is into the pits, as is Alonso. Now we're going to try to dive bomb Guan Yu, and he does hit us, but I think it was more rear wheel to front wheel there. It's now back up into the points. Max Verstappen in front of us. And we'll try and chase down Max Verstappen now. And he's coming out of the pits. He's going to be ahead of us, I think. He is ahead, almost ahead of Max as well. But he's going to have to warm up his tyres now, as we're back up into P6, despite all the drama. And I'm going to have to take a break right now and get back to the action in a little bit, as we'll just put it on the straight, and we shall return for the second half of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So back into action here. We are a lap later. They just had to take a quick break there as a little baby Deft needed some food, needed a feed, and we're back into action a lap later. So just took a lap to kind of get back into the thing. I think this swing of things as we're chasing down Lewis. There's 3 seconds in front now after we were so far in front of him, but as I say, wing damage after Leclerc decided to turn in on us, and then had to replace our wing, and then coming out of the pits we collided with Mick, which I think was more 50-50 potentially. Yeah. Our rear wing is damaged as well, and now they're still fixing that, so like now, best we can hope for is keeping it in P6, unfortunately, as we are losing Hamilton here. And Bottas is only 2 seconds behind us, so we are really going to struggle here for pace. As I say, normally our pace on these hards aren't particularly great as it is anyway, but
Take button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
given the damage as well, certainly isn't helping as we run it wide. We'll just ease off so we don't get our track limits. What could have been 10 laps to go though here at Jeddah. We're just hanging on a hope of a safety car, but then again, I say that to bring the pack together, but then I feel that a safety car actually might do us more harm than good with the damage we have. Because as you can see, Bottas is catching us, as is Magnussen as well. As we kiss, well, more of a snog of the wall there. Really struggling out here now. I'm kind of hoping we can actually just finish this race. It's getting quite challenging to keep the car on a straight line. There is Valtteri Bottas. So as it stands, it's a Ferrari 1-2. I think Sainz still is in the lead. Oh, we've almost lost it, just out of nowhere. We're all over the place here. Really struggling. Not too sure how much this rear wing damage is affecting us, but I just feel like we're losing the car all the time. Every corner, every time my foot hits the accelerator. I feel like the back end just isn't there, and Bottas is probably going to get us here as well. I've got plenty of battery here, so we can defend, but our hopes of kind of catching loose and all that are well and truly gone. Multiple incidents today, one with Verstappen, one with Leclerc. One with Leclerc, should I say, and then that one with Mick. Bottas now in DRS. Magnussen got that gap down to 4.4 seconds now. So he's catching us by a few tenths every lap. And I think even without the damage, we might have struggled to hold on for a podium. I think Leclerc and Max might have got us, but I think we were pretty set in P4. Perez didn't look like a threat, Hamilton didn't look like a threat, he was far behind, so a couple of places lost.
And gap to the car in front is 5.7 seconds.
But you never know what might happen. That's 2/3 of the way through this race now. Yes, with this game as well, obviously so much concentration not to, as I say, not make mistakes, and obviously when you kind of step away from the game and come back on, I find with this game you got to be in a rhythm. When you're in the rhythm and you're just going well, you're in the zone, and then one mistake or just taking a break, I feel can just completely throw you off that rhythm, and that's what we needed Leclerc to do to us, just give us the space, and we're actually going to get the DRS, which will just keep us in front. As we have a nice little battle here with Valtteri, with 7 laps to go. Yeah, definitely got to be in the zone for this game, but as I say, I think we've been I've played F1 games for a while, but always been on controller up until maybe about 3-4 months ago. when I decided to get myself the steering wheel for F1 at 21, and then, as I say, it'll be my first ever full game, a full year on a steering wheel during the game. So we kind of threw ourselves in the deep end. I didn't want to play with assists on and ABS, so we just went pretty much straight to the elite settings. I think at first I turned all the traction off. The only assist that I did have on was ABS, because I was locking up all the time. But when I did turn it off, but now we're on elite settings, every assist off.
Okay, gaps in the car
And now it's a
ahead.
case of just cutting down on mistakes and obviously getting faster. We are on 98 AI, as I say, so the goal is to cut out the mistakes, which we're definitely doing. I think it's definitely track dependent though. Some tracks much tougher than others. And then obviously getting faster, and
Place back.
obviously without racing lines and assists on, you gotta learn your braking points. So here I always use the 100 marker right there, and then of course it's what gear to select and round every corner, and then you gotta kind of memorize that for every track. So definitely a challenge, but I am using I watch a lot of Jarno Opmeer. If you guys don't know who that is, that's the current, he won the esports championship in 2020 and 2021. He races for Mercedes in the esports. So he is like #1 in the world. He's unbelievable at this game. We've just break too early there, so I'm chatting away, losing my concentration. And then another YouTuber that I like to watch for setups and kind of tips and stuff for this game is, as there's contact behind again. I'm like an idiot magnet today. As Magnussen's now only 3.3 behind. Yeah, it's Limitless. I watch Limitless. He does a lot of F1, and he'll do like, he's really good at the game. He does like a hot lap, and then he breaks it down corner by corner, telling you kind of how to enter corners, how to exit, kind of. You can see what gears he's in, and definitely great videos, great advice. And he's also got the setups that I'm using as well. So that's why I've only done so many tracks. Is please don't squeeze us into the wall. So Valerie actually gave us way more space there than Leclerc and Max did, so credit to him there. Magnussen really catching us up, but I'd say at worst here is the 5 laps to go is P8, because even if Magnussen catches us, there's a massive gap there. So we definitely had good pace here today. It's a shame because we were definitely looking at potentially back-to-back podiums to start the season. If not, I feel that, as I say, P4 was going to be the worst we would have, but in the end, considering it, I think we'll take P6 if we can hang on to that. Yeah, there's plenty of great videos and YouTubers and stuff that can really help you improve, which is what I'm trying to do. Some of these guys are just mega quick. Obviously, I think it obviously helps with the equipment that you use. Some of these guys are using kind of, you know, steering wheels. You know, they're on Fanatec wheels, which cost well over £1,000 and stuff. Obviously, equipment helps, but people just have raw pace. I know a lot of the guys who play this as well in the esports were actually race car drivers in real life. I think Opmeer actually done, I think it was, I can't remember, kind of like Formula 4 or something along the lines. Now we're on the outside. Thought about the switch back there, but this battle with Bottas continues.
And that's just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
For yet another lap. Just trying to keep it together for these final laps, and I think next we head to Imola, which was one of the tracks that I actually done the most laps on in F1 21. I used it as kind of a track to learn kind of the wheel and playing with that assist and stuff, so I know it pretty well. But definitely has a few tricky corners, that's for sure. And there will be a sprint race as well, so we'll have one practice session and then quali on the Friday, sprint race on the Saturday, followed by the main race on the Sunday. So plenty of action coming up from Imola soon. As once again, probably there we'll be targeting a top 6 finish hopefully, but we'll see. As Bottas is going to go for another move as we late break it. Bottas is going to get DRS now. Just drain this battery. And we should be alright for yet another lap. Magnussen still 3 seconds behind, so looking like a battle for P6 between me and Bottas. Oh, as I thought he was going to hit me there, and we're taking that wide. We are on 2 track limit warnings, I believe. 1 or 2, so the next one could be costly, so gotta keep it clean. Gotta keep it clean. As it's looking like Ferrari, we're going to take maximum points here. I'm going to assume one of them have fastest lap as well. But not a bad weekend for Red Bull either. P3, 4 and then 5, 6 for ourselves here, Mercedes. So we'll see how the constructors and stuff are looking.
Gap ahead is 11.
Of course, we did have a bit of an advantage over all these guys with most of them not finishing, as we're under threat here from Bottas again. He's going to have the inside again, as we've ran it so wide. That could be costly, and he's going to get DRS on the,
Okay, focus. We need
on the
to
main
stay on
straight, on the home straight. DRS helps us. Lap 23 now. At 25. Oh, there's a contact there. I'm not too sure what happened there. I felt like I got hit. Unless it was a curb, I'm not too sure. Because Magnussen's just creeping on us. Yeah, incredibly disappointing that Leclerc just... I'd say we tried to use a flashback just because I felt like, you know, there was nothing we could do. It wasn't our fault. We were leaving plenty of space, and they just closed the door on us. Wait, I forgot about this corner. Too busy chatting. Please don't give us track limits. We're alright.
We've got enough fuel for 3 more
Just had to
laps.
ease off there. I actually thought we had already passed that corner. It's crazy when you're chatting and you just lose concentration, lose focus. I think we're pretty fortunate not to get track limits there, which would have put us probably down in P9. I mean, there's a massive gap if you look on the map between Magnussen and then whoever's in P9. Massive gap back to P9. Huge gap. Few laps to go at Jeddah. I'm just gonna... We don't want more contact. Have to get out of that a little bit. And Magnussen, as this race is coming to an end, is getting ever so closer. The back of Bottas and myself. And once again, we have to keep it clean through here, avoiding getting a penalty for track limits.
And gap to the car in front is 14.6 seconds.
But Hamilton just on these hards managed to completely pull away again. Damage to the rear wing, not helping us at all. But after that, collision with Leclerc, we could have been in real trouble. Possibly not even scoring points, but well clear of, let's say. Bottas going for a crazy lunge. What is with these guys today? Max Verstappen with the quickest lap. That will take a point off Leclerc, who I think Leclerc is going to lead the Drivers' Championship as it stands, because he got P3, somehow got P3 in Bahrain after, well, he was leading the race, right? Or he was up in the top 3 anyway, and then when that safety car came out and they had to pit the next again lap, they were down below at the bottom, and he pretty much went from P20. And Bottas is damaged.
Okay, this is your final lap.
So he suffered for that idiotic lunge into that corner, probably hit my rear and damaged his front wing, and that closes a Bottas. But Magnussen, with all that going on, has got himself right into the points for Haas. Yeah, I believe Leclerc will be leading the drivers. We'll take a look after this race as we're on the final lap, 8/10 ahead of Kevin Magnussen, and well out of range of those guys in front of us. In what's been another dramatic race. And unfortunately, unlike Bahrain, the dramas went against us. Leclerc crosses the line, just shows the gap between us and the leaders. Crosses the line. Sergio Perez with the fastest lap. He goes through in P3, I believe, despite not having pace. And Max Verstappen will take that extra point for the fastest lap. As now we've got a sprint to the end with Kevin Magnussen. We'll defend hard. We're actually on the inside, so this could spell danger for us. But he's not ahead. He might be now as we go wide. Oh no! And he's gonna have DRS. And I think we've lost on the final corner as Kevin Magnussen is gonna beat us to the line. And on the last corner, we lose even more points. And it's P7. Ah, I can't believe that. Kevin Magnussen, though. Credit to him. He stayed in touch and then took advantage of Bottas' mistake and us. But P7 considering front wing damage, rear wing damage. Yeah, we'll take that, I guess. We'll take that. So, top 3, Leclerc P1, Sainz P2, Sergio Perez P3.
This was a real team victory. They put together a
So,
solid
still no
strategy
podium
today that
for
appeared well suited
Max
to the conditions
Verstappen
out on track. The
or
driver
Lewis
did
Hamilton so
everything that was
far
expected
after
of
2
them at the
rounds.
moment to really execute the team's plan to
Wow,
perfection.
another
A shining
dramatic
example of
one.
how F1 really is a team sport.
Another dramatic one. But, yeah. I think there's a couple more points in that final corner.
An excellent performance at
I was so
today's
scared that he was going to hit me. We
Grand
ended up
Prix.
messing up, but
Know what they're doing out there.
being fortunate enough just to get points. Leclerc takes victory in Jeddah after Gasly was on the top spot in Bahrain. Be interesting to see where Gasly finished today. I don't think he was in the points. Tsunoda was P8 for the AlphaTauri race, so we will take a look at the standings and how things are. So
let's review the drivers' standings.
Leclerc P1
And with
from
today's
best.
impressive
He was
result,
fastest all
Charles Leclerc
weekend.
steps into the championship lead.
Not surprised.
So, Anthony Davidson,
Carlos
who would you
Sainz
rank as your driver
from
of the
first
day?
to second.
Yuki
Good points
Tsunoda
from
gets my
Sergio
vote today.
Perez.
Let's move on to the constructors.
P3.
Ferrari take the lead at the top
Verstappen
of the
P4.
table.
Lewis Hamilton
Meanwhile, a
P5.
strong
Kevin
weekend from Red
Magnussen
Bull this time out.
P6. Didn't start P8 though. Ourselves, disappointingly P7.
Alonso
Alonso goes from 11th to 8th. Tsunoda with a great drive, 16th to 9th. And Pierre Gasly from 17th to 10th. So once again, it is a double scoring weekend for the AlphaTauris. 9th and 10th this time, instead of what, first and 4th, I think, in Bahrain. But good points yet again. Lando Norris down in 12th. The Alphas in 13th and 14th after Bottas. Yeah, again, just stupid moves from Bottas. Mick Schumacher managed to get to 16th from 20th. And nothing much else changed down at the bottom. So, another solid weekend from AlphaTauri. Ferrari with the 1-2. Red Bull 3-4. Mercedes 5 and 7. So the standings, Pierre Gasly is still P2 in the championship, but a new leader in Leclerc, who is on 40 points and now has a decent lead 14 points from Gasly, 16 to myself. So P3 for ourselves in the standings. Max Verstappen on 19 points puts him P4. Carlos Sainz with some good points today after no points in Bahrain. So he is P5. Perez 6th. Norris 7th. Tsunoda 8th. Alonso 9th. And Lewis Hamilton with his first point. 10 points puts him in P10. And the Constructors' Championship, we are down in 4th as Ferrari take the lead. AlphaTauri still in P2. Red Bull P3. Ourselves in P4. McLaren P5. Alpine 6. Haas 7. Alpha, Aston, and Williams all without any points so far. So it's shaping up. It's looking like it's going to be, you know, obviously Ferrari and Red Bull fighting for the 2 championship, with ourselves kind of straggling behind. And P3, we should overtake the AlphaTauri, hopefully at Imola in the next race weekend. But we got what kind of a couple points above Verstappen, Sainz, and Perez. But right now we're probably looking at potentially a P5 finish in the driver standings, but you never know. We'll see what happens at certain tracks. So yes sir, that is the end of it as Leclerc takes victory at Jeddah. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Another dramatic race, unfortunately, going against us this time. But we will be back very soon for Imola Sprint Weekend. So I'll see you then, guys. Stay safe, stay awesome. Peace.